Thank you very much. I'm Ken Molzer, one of the directors of the PAC Band, who welcome you to our winter concert entitled Reminiscing. So we're going to reminisce of a lot of different numbers throughout the years, and maybe some of them will shake your memory a little bit, and you've heard of years ago. We ask you to rise and join us in the national anthem. This is called Reminiscing. And I'm just thinking, well, as old as I am, I have a lot of reminiscing to do. And if I'd have just remembered to reminisce and turn that on about 15 minutes ago when I was doing nothing else, and I didn't have it written on my list of things to do. So thank you for helping me with that. Yeah, reminiscing. We're going to just think about some maybe people that wrote a number of years ago, their compositions, and just reminiscing maybe our childhood, or whatever it might be. Our first number that we're reminiscing is a famous composer, arranger, a conductor, Robert W. Smith, passed away just only a couple years ago. Complications of having heart surgery. And he passed away at the young age of 64. So in 2023, we no longer had Robert W. Smith. In his long life that he had, he not only wrote for bands like this, community bands and middle school bands, high school bands, colleges, universities, military bands, drum and bugle corps. He composed over 600 or arranged over 600 compositions in his lifetime. An outstanding composer. So we may just jog your memory about maybe some of you played a Robert W. Smith number. And so we're going to play one called In Canto. You're going to hear fanfares and some different types of sounds and styles within this. So a tribute to Robert W. Smith.
Good afternoon. That is very loud. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing? Thank you for coming out on a cold and still kind of icky day to come and see us. We're off to a great start so far with this band. They are just really fun to work with. Our next piece on the program is called Shenandoah by Frank Kelly. It's a pretty commonly performed piece of music in the wind band repertoire, and it's one of my personal favorites. It's absolutely lovely. Shenandoah being of the Shenandoah Valley and the river that are located in Virginia. I'll let the composer speak for the piece. So this is Frank Kelly saying, "In my setting of Shenandoah, I was inspired by the freedom and beauty of the folk melody and by the natural images evoked by the words, especially the image of a river. I was less concerned with the sound of a rolling river than with its life-affirming energy, its timelessness. Sometimes the accompaniment flows quietly under the melody, other times it breathes alongside it." You're going to hear that a lot depicted in the music. The work's mood ranges from quiet reflection through growing optimism to profound exaltation at the very end. So we hope you enjoy Shenandoah. All right. Thank goodness for program notes.
We're very honored today to have with us a composer of our next number. We have several composers in our band right now. Oh, hello there. Am I on now? Oh. What did I say that was important? I'll just start right now. We're so delighted to have with us the composer of our next composition. Several years ago, I asked Keith, I said, he's an incredible composer. He writes some very, very extended, incredibly challenging pieces of music. And good night. Anyway, is that three of them? You bless them then? Anyway, so I told Keith, I says, can you write something whimsical? He kind of looked at me, and, maybe. So we were having rehearsal. I don't know, was it last year? Whenever it was, he comes up with this package and says, here. I said, what's that? And he said, here's a whimsical number I wrote for you. So today, we're going to play a whimsical number by Keith, and he's going to explain this one, because I have no idea. So please welcome Keith Davis, the composer of our next composition. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, so the piece I wrote titled, I can't turn this down this way. I titled it Scary Go Round. The first thing you need to know about Scary Go Round is it's not that scary. It is supposed to be whimsical, but it is in a minor key, and it does have some kind of wacky percussion sounds in it that are supposed to be kind of eerie. So if I were to write a piece called Scary Go Round now, it would probably sound very different. But the title came after the piece. So it was inspired by the most whimsical composers I can think of, which are Prokofiev, Shostakovich in a Good Mood, and Danny Elfman. You'll maybe hear some of that in here. So I wrote this piece for this group, and this is the world premiere of Scary Go Round. I hope you enjoy it. And I'm not going to touch this.
Thank you, Keith. That was a premier performance. And I was going to say, I hope you didn't have scary feelings like that when you were a kid on a merry-go-round. But interesting sounds there. Keith is he's also the associate music director of the Nebraska Wind Symphony. He's involved in some other groups in the Omaha area. We all know Keith Davis. And once again, Keith, stand up and take a bow. Scary go around. You don't know how scary that was working on that number. it was a definitely right, Keith. It was a scary go around with it. Band, I'm proud of you. You did a great job. Give him a big hand. That was not easy to do. I'm going to go from the ridiculous, sorry, Keith, ridiculous to the sublime right now. This past fall, we lost our first trombone player to cancer, Mr. Alan Lightbody, and it was a loss to all of us. There's a little tribute in your program. You could read about Alan. He was involved in a number of different organizations in the Omaha community. Played in a number of pit orchestras. He was a fine trombone player and a dear friend to all of us. One of our resident composers that we have in the band. We just got composers running out of our ears here. Anyway, our next composer, Mr. Larry McTaggart, has written a number for our band, and he knew Alan Lightbody for a number of years, and he asked if he could write a tribute in memory of Alan Lightbody, and I said that would be great. So the empty chair we have here on stage, that was where Alan sat and played trombone. And so I'd like to have Larry come up here right now, wherever you are, Larry. Larry McTaggart, the composer of the next piece, and he'll explain it to you.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you so much for being here joining us this afternoon. I first met Alan Lightbody back in August of 1983. I was a newly minted band director at the small town down the road in Fairbury, Nebraska. And Alan was the road rep for Tom's Music House, which was based out of Concordia, Kansas. And so the way that job works is that once a week, You could get a visit from your music store rep, and they'd talk about things you needed, and then also give you a chance to kind of vent if you needed to. And those 2 years I was at Fairburn were difficult for me, and Alan was such a life preserver, and that's why I always cherished about business. So I went on into the Air Force, and we weren't in contact for very much, just occasionally now and then we made it back to Omaha. But lo and behold, when we retired here, came back in 2012 and joined the PAC Band, there he sat in the trombone section. I said, wow, I can't believe you're here. And he said the same thing to me. And so when I learned of his illness and his passing last fall, I just knew I had to do something. And so I took a Google search on his last name, looked about it, and I found out that it's a Scottish and Irish descent, and has a very elaborate family crest, and above that family crest are the words Clarior Vitennibus, which means brighter from the darkness. And that's what I need. So this piece is a tribute to him. You'll hear some original melody in it, and you'll hear it combined with the hymn that we all know. And it's in putting this together just to make you realize how blessed I am to be part of music, because music can lift us up in any emotion that we have, whether it's joyful, celebratory, even sadness and grief. And so this piece is for Alan to thank him for the time that we spent together, for his contributions to the not only PAC Band but other ensembles in the area, and so we're saying thank you.
Light Body was a really nice man. I knew him a little bit through my association with the Wind Symphony for a number of years, so it was really nice to be able to do something in service of him. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I know it's overused, but now for something completely different. We're going to go back in time a little bit to one John Philip Sousa. This is actually my favorite Sousa march. It's called The Fairest of the Fair. It was written for the Boston Food Fair in 1908, and it was inspired because Sousa had been impressed by the beauty and charm of one particular young lady who was the center of attention of the displays in which she was employed at this fair. He made a mental note that he would someday transfer his impressions of her into music. When the invitation came for the Sousa Band to play a 20-day engagement in 1908 at this fair, he wrote this march. And I read a story earlier today where the copyist for the Sousa Band missed that they were going to premiere this. Like, he forgot to actually make the copies. So this poor guy had to stay up all night because they had advertised about it and stuff. And he managed to get it done, but can you imagine that, having to write out all of those copies of music before? I mean, when they didn't have, copiers, or any way to do that quickly. That probably was really intense. Apparently he got paid pretty well for it, so I thought that was a funny story. I hope you enjoy The Fairest of the Fair.
like to make a few introductions at this time. We have a board of directors that helped organize this band. So, board of directors members, would you stand up, please? Board of directors, okay, and just stay standing, okay. These are on the board. The program that was printed, Elizabeth, stand up, okay. Stay standing. By the way, her husband was a photographer here. We will have 5x7 glossies for $10. We hope to have a publication made sometime on that. So this is our board of directors and our program printer upper. This board helps organize, and we are run by donations, strictly donations. By the way, there's a big can in the back there, and we'd like to fill it up tonight. So, but if you have, if you'd like to give to the band, we'd appreciate that. There's also contacts on the bulletin how to contact the band. Thank you, board, for all you do. Give them a big hand. Our board of directors. This band is strictly volunteer. There are no auditions. If you like playing an instrument, you like being in the band, and you were in the band, you just come and join us. So this group right here, we had rehearsal last week. We had a rehearsal. We had 3 rehearsals prior to this dress rehearsal today. So 3 rehearsals, this band gets together. We have 60 people that just drop in out of the sky and play their instruments. And I just find that incredible. I just can't believe it. Wow. So give them a big hand. So if you know someone that would like to join us, bring your instrument and join us. We have, like I say, no auditions necessary. We're having our program today, video tape, whatever. I use tape. I use this old thing. It's being recorded, and we have Jackson right over here. Jackson, wave to the audience, right? Jackson's a student here with the Papillion-La Vista Media. And so he will be making a recording of this, and it will be on YouTube on a later date. Next week? No, maybe not next week, but this is his project. So thanks, Jackson, for all you're doing for that. We just thank the school for able to use the auditorium here, sound and lights, and all things that go along with it. Since there wasn't school Friday, we had to kind of change some of our programming to set up so we had rehearsal here, a dress rehearsal on Saturday. So the school's been incredibly supportive of us, and I thank the principal, Jason Ryan, for all he has done. So, and Tim Keller and everybody else that works. They're top-notch people, so it makes our job much easier. What else do I have written here so I don't forget? If you know someone that wants to join us, look on the program, and it'll give you ideas what our next concert is. And by the way, our next concert, I don't know if you know this, but we're celebrating 250 years of our country. And so our June concert, which is the 21st, it's out there at Sumter Amphitheater, will be saluting 250 years. We're having special music written, and we'll be having a very interesting celebration of our 250th year. So make certain that you attend that concert. And then we have one in August also. Okay, I think that's all I have written down there. Board of directors, did I forget anything? No, they're saying, just quit your talking, let's play music. Like this is reminiscing, and we did reminisce. We reminisced on a merry-go-round. It might have been a scary one of your childhood. We reminisced of John Philip Sousa, all the music that he has written, and in remembrance of Alan Lightbody. So this is just looking back. So we're looking back into the big band era. So we're going to be playing selections from many of the big bands. Some of you may have danced to the big bands and listened to it. You may have, you may even have a vinyl of the big bands. So if you want to dance, you can do it down here, I guess, if you wish. And so we're going to do a big band medleys, remembering all those from years gone by. Big Band Spectacular. introduced the last number, I'd like to take this time to give my appreciation to my co-director, Lindsay Bogast, and I are co-directing the PAC Band, and it's just my privilege to work with Lindsay. She's had adult community bands in the past. You can read her bio in the program. She's right now she's the assistant band director at Westside High School. She's also involved in other organizations and an incredible tuba player too. She does help with the PAC Band once in a while. So I'm very fortunate to co-direct with Lindsay, and so please give her a big round of applause for all she does for the PAC Band.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So you, Lindsay, on that now.
You'll be at the bar.
I'll be at the bar.
Well, I'll join you shortly now. All right, cool. Well, it's hard to follow up that big band, but we're gonna finish with another staple of the wind band repertoire, and that's Amparita Roca by Spanish composer Jaime Teixidor. He was from Barcelona, and this is a paso doble. So raise your hand if you know what a paso doble is. Right? So it's meant to depict a couple of different things. One, the Spanish bullfights, and two, like Spanish couple dances. So you're gonna hear elements of that, and it's really a fun piece of music. I hope you enjoy Amparita Roca.
That's all, folks.